Exactly what to do. Mic check 1, 2. You know what to do. Hit that like and subscribe button. Yeah, we are back again. Another conversation for elevation, breaking the chains. This is your co-host. Oh, I'm not the co-host today. Well, it kind of is. I'll get into that more deeply as we continue to talk today. But this is your host with the most from the West Coast, Brother KingdomX, man, and having these conversations. You know what I'm saying? Today is February 14th. A lot of folks are celebrating Valentine's Day. When we talking about breaking the chains, that was something that in my life, you know, I got to a point and I started asking, what is a Valentine? Like, what does that even mean? You know, is this a specific day I'm supposed to be showing the folks I love the most, you know, showing them appreciation? Now I got to thinking, like, why don't I do that every day? So for folks who are celebrating today are in that spirit, I hope you're really like taking it to heart and applying it, you know, 365 days, not just one day out the year. So that's my little snippet, if we can get into that today. But, you know, today's conversation is going to be on the lines of, you know, the L word, you know what I'm saying? This symbol right here can mean a lot to a lot of folks. Today, you know, originally we're talking about L meaning losses. And we want to turn those losses into lessons. Now, it's a way that you can do that. That is true alchemy. But it doesn't seem that way at first, right? So, for example, today, you know, I took a big L, you know what I'm saying, in the stock market by taking a risk and stepping out of my comfort zone of my agreed, you know, strategy. That I made a strategy with myself and I agreed to stick to these rules and these principles, and I went against that. And I took an L, right? But you know what I'm saying? The L, if I didn't want to like really look at what caused me to take that L and put a plan in place to not have to take that L again, it would just be a loss, because it's a lost opportunity. The loss doesn't stand for you lost. It stands that if you don't apply the lessons and flip it and turn it into blessings, it will be a lost opportunity for you. So it's ideal to not get stuck. You know, if you play sports, like, you know, they always say last play, you know what I'm saying? Just last play is dead, next play is up. You know what I'm saying? You don't focus on things you can't control, and you can't really control things that happened, but you do have control in the present to analyze it and make sure you move more effectively the next time the opportunity presents itself. So turning L's into lessons for me have been tremendously beneficial. I mean, financially beneficial, you know, culturally beneficial. For example, you know, coming into, also we are in February, this is Black History Month, right? Shout out Black History Month. And, you know, looking at the history of one's people, whether you're oppressed, depressed, or you are the oppressor, right? We all have a history that most folks aren't too proud of, right? Pretty ashamed of, a lot of gruesome stuff, right? You can imagine. But, you know, for me, looking at that and not having a pity party, not looking at it as like, whoa, it's me, you know, which I did at one point in my life, you know what I'm saying? But I got to a point where I was to get above the depression and really started to look at it as a lesson. Like, what is this teaching me? Like, what is this teaching me? That's a good thing to ask yourself. Whenever you're in a situation where you're looking at a loss or something tragic, say, ask yourself within, what is this teaching me, right? And let it reveal itself over time or in time to you. So on the topic, I digress, on the topic of Black history and looking at, you know, Black folks, which is the culture that I identify with, and learning about slavery and watching things like Roots and other slave movies where, you know, pretty much my people were chattel slavery, meaning my people were property, right? And we were treated so wrongly. I could just sit with that and take that as, okay, that happened. And many of us, you know, if you look at the Black community now, many of us are striving for greatness, are doing great things. And folks, if you look at the history that's been told, you'll probably be like, well, where is this coming from? It's because we turn those losses into lessons, and the lessons turn to blessings, right? So, you know, that's just a broader scope. More personally, you know, any loss, you can apply it. There's no such thing as a loss. There's no such thing as a loss. You're not a loser. You know, you didn't lose that job. You didn't lose that girl. You gained the opportunity to learn from that lesson so that you can either keep what's coming to you or you can get what you want next time around, right? So just want to encourage folks to not sit on no L's. Please don't label yourself as a loser. You know, you're just a learner, right? And it's a part of the process. It's a part of the process, right? Thomas Edison went through many inventions before he got to that one. And there's many countless stories like that. Folks just keep staying with it. Michael Jordan talked about, you all champion the last shots, how many game winners I won, but you don't even know about all the game winners I missed, right? It's all about learning, but you got to put the reps in, right? So I hope that helps somebody, this process. And we're talking about Valentine's Day. I hope you're loving yourself. That L needs to also be for love, loving yourself, loving where you at, knowing that it's okay for you to want to be somewhere else, or you want to be doing something else with your life, or you want to be over something that you're dealing with. That's okay. We've all been there, but don't be so hard on yourself. Life is hard enough as it is. So we're going to get out of here with this conversation, you know what I'm talking about? And we're going to take it to the next level, and we'll see y'all on the next episode on Breaking the Chains. This is your brother, KingdomX. Hope this helps somebody. I pray it helped everybody, but it sure helped me. See you on the next one. Peace.